Before we step into the heart of the sea, letting the sound of waves and wind settle in our souls, imagine yourself alone in a vast ocean, with waves that could swallow you at any moment. Yet, within this solitude, a story begins. A journey full of willpower, faith, and effort, where even failure brings in valuable lessons. Let us meet the familiar faces who shape this timeless tale. Faces that go beyond mere characters, each a mirror reflecting humanity, hope, faith, and struggle. Those who, over 2 days and 2 nights of a fierce battle, redefine the true meaning of being human. First, Santiago, an old Cuban man, thin and bony, with eyes that carry the sunlight of long years at sea. His face is etched by time, and his hands are calloused from years of labor and battle with wind and water. At first glance, he may seem frail and weary, but within him burns an unwavering fire, a fire that no defeat or passing year can extinguish. He is a fisherman, but not the kind who casts a net merely for the night's bread. Fishing for him is a ritual, a form of prayer, a way to converse with the sea and uncover life's mysteries. For 84 days, he has caught nothing, and the villagers call him unlucky. Yet Santiago believes that one day, the sea will smile upon him again. He embodies human perseverance, the moment when a person, despite wounds and exhaustion, chooses to rise and continue. Beside him is a young boy named Manon, a youth with bright eyes and a heart full of love. He has been Santiago's apprentice since his early days and remains devoted with all his heart. His parents no longer allow him to go to sea with the old man, calling him unlucky. Yet Manon visits Santiago's simple home every day. He brings him food, tidies his belongings, and looks at him with deep respect. Manon symbolizes youthful faith, hope born from love and respect. Their relationship transcends that of student and teacher. It is a fatherly bond, a legacy between 2 generations, one in the twilight of life, the other in its dawn. And then Marlin, the great fish, that majestic being of the deep blue, a giant from the ocean's depths, with scales like silver in sunlight, beautiful, powerful, and endless. He is not merely a fish. He embodies a dream, a symbol of the grand goal for which a human must endure suffering, stand alone, and wrestle with oneself. Marlin represents nature, both generous and merciless, inspiring and destructive. When Santiago sees him, his gaze carries not greed, but respect and awe. And when the rope binds them together, 2 worlds intertwine, man and sea, will and fate. Yet, in the ocean's depths, sharks lie in wait. Faceless shadows in dark waters, sensing blood and victory from miles away. They symbolize darkness and destruction, forces that strike after toil and triumph to tear away the fruits of one's labor. Sharks remind us that even after victory, humans remain vulnerable to the merciless world outside. And now, having met these faces, let us slowly step into the old man's small boat. A boat that smells of aged wood, salt, and dreams. The sea is calm, and the Cuban sun rises on the horizon. In this moment, Santiago, with a weary body but a steadfast heart, grips the rudder and begins his journey. A journey toward a great catch, and perhaps toward discovering the true meaning of being human. The beginning, misfortune, and solitude. The story begins on a calm morning in a small Cuban village. The sun gradually rises over the hills, casting its golden light on the simple houses and the sandy shore. In this quiet, an old man named Santiago awakens, around 80 years old, with a face lined by time and hands hardened by years of fishing labor. His body is thin and frail, yet his gaze is filled with determination and hope. Santiago has not caught a fish for a long time, 84 days without a single catch. The villagers consider him unlucky, and some no longer even respect him. Yet the old man has come to terms with his solitude. His small, simple home is filled with reminders of the past and his achievements. Old hooks and lines, dried fish from bountiful days, and vivid memories of times when he performed great feats at sea. Amid this silence, a ray of hope remains. Marlin, his loyal young apprentice, visits him every day with respect and affection. The boy accompanies the old man, even when his parents forbid him. Marlin's gaze is full of admiration, and each visit breathes new life into Santiago. Santiago begins his morning with careful rituals. First, he rubs and touches his hands to feel the aches and weakness. Then, he prepares his fishing lines and hooks, carefully checking each one to ensure there are no flaws. He recalls the days when, with these simple tools, he caught massive fish. While preparing, his mind drifts to the past, the days of great victories at sea, fish larger than those caught by other boats, moments of perfect harmony with nature. Santiago knows that his skill and strength still exist within him. He just needs the chance to prove it. In the quiet of his home, he talks to himself, sometimes whispering softly, sometimes speaking to his small old boat, as if these objects were alive and listening. He thinks of the sea, the waves, the wind, and the giant fish. In his heart, he resolves that this time, instead of small catch, he will pursue a great, legendary fish to prove to himself and to others that he is still a master fisherman. These moments reveal not only the daily life of the old man, but also illuminate his mind, hope, and determination. In his solitude, Santiago lives with his memories and skills, yet every action and thought shows that he is ready, with faith and courage, to confront the sea and his destiny. Decision for the great journey. It is early morning, and the golden sunlight glimmers over the calm waters of the Gulf. Santiago prepares his small, weathered wooden boat, a companion for years, each crack and scratch telling a story of past catches. With his wrinkled, thin hands, he inspects every rope and plank, ensuring nothing is broken or weak, because even a small mistake at sea can be dangerous. He arranges the hooks carefully and coils the fishing lines with precision, each movement reflecting decades of experience. He thinks to himself, "Today is my day. Today I will catch the great fish, even if my body aches and my hands burn." The boat glides gently on the waves, and the sound of water lapping against the wooden sides becomes the music of the old man's solitude and hope. Santiago heads toward distant waters, where no other fisherman dares to go. He knows that there, the great fish reside, and only skill, patience, and courage can lead to success. Along the way, he observes the waves and wind, the color of the sky, and the sunlight reflecting on the water, as if guidance for finding the great fish lies in these small details. His thoughts are filled with memories and visions of enormous fish, yet he feels no fear. At every moment, he whispers to himself, trusting his boat and his tools, as if they were alive and speaking to him. The struggle with the great fish moment. Hours pass, and Suddenly, Santiago's hook catches something enormous. The line tugs violently under his hands, making his heart race. He knows this is no ordinary fish. Calm and focused, he grips the rope tightly and begins to pull, but the fish resists with all its strength. The struggle begins, growing harder and longer with each passing moment. 2 days and 2 nights pass, each second filled with pain and exhaustion. Santiago's hands are bloodied and battered, his fingers gripping the rope to the bone, and his thin body aches with fatigue. Yet he does not give up. Throughout the struggle, Santiago speaks to the fish, not as an enemy, but as a powerful and worthy being. You are great and magnificent. If I prevail, I will catch you with honor, and if not, at least I have known you. The struggle symbolizes the human interaction with nature, not a battle for domination, but for respect, understanding, and harmony. Santiago anticipates each movement of the fish, pulling the line with patience and precision, steering the boat carefully, and overcoming fatigue and pain with willpower and faith. On the second night, under a starry sky, he sits, exhausted and bloodied, whispering to the fish, "I know you are alone, like me, and we are both warriors of this sea." The long and grueling struggle represents human endurance, courage, and determination in pursuit of great goals. With every tug of the line, every drop of sweat and blood, Santiago pursues not just the fish, but also the dignity, humanity, and respect for life and nature. Victory in pain. Finally, after 2 days and 2 nights of relentless struggle, Santiago succeeds in securing the massive fish alongside his boat. His heart races, his hands burn with pain, yet his gaze is full of pride. The magnificent fish floats beside the boat, its enormous shadow cast on the water, like a living giant accompanying him. Yet Santiago's joy is short-lived. He knows the return journey will not be easy. Sharks, merciless predators of the sea, smell the blood of the fish and attack one by one. The crashing of water and the leaping of sharks heighten both danger and excitement for Santiago. He fights with all his strength, thrusting harpoons, wielding his knife, and striving to keep the sharks away from the fish's flesh. Each strike and effort doubles his fatigue and pain, yet he refuses to surrender. His body is wounded and bloody, his hands and feet ache, but his resolve remains strong. Despite all his efforts, most of the fish's flesh is devoured by the sharks. Only the giant skeleton remains, yet this apparent defeat does not diminish Santiago's honor and dignity. He looks at his effort with pride, knowing that even against the forces of nature, he never surrendered. In the quiet of the night, as the boat drifts and only the roar of waves and wind is heard, Santiago gazes at the fish and whispers, tired but proud, "You were strong, and I tried. Perhaps your flesh is gone, but our spirit lives, and our dignity remains." Return to shore and the end of the story. Morning approaches, and the sun begins to cast its golden light over the water. Santiago, exhausted, wounded, and in pain, navigates his small boat back to shore. Every movement of the boat is hard. Every small wave shakes his tired body. Yet he maintains his spirit, knowing that dignity and honor lie in the struggle, not the final outcome. When he finally reaches the shore, only the massive skeleton of the fish remains in the boat. But this image is not defeat. It is a reminder of relentless effort and human courage. At home, Manon awaits him. The young boy's eyes are full of respect and admiration. He touches the old man's battered hands and learns from his experience. Courage, Perseverance and dignity are valuable and inspiring, even when the apparent result is lost. Santiago walks home slowly, but full of pride. Physical pain and fatigue accompany him, but within, he feels contentment and peace. He teaches us that the true value of a human lies in effort, endurance, and dignity, not in what the world may grant. Themes and messages, detailed version. 1. Perseverance and courage. Santiago embodies human determination and resilience. Despite a weak body and battered hands, he endures more than 2 days and nights against a massive fish. Every time his hands ache or the rope slips, he tries again. Not for others, but for himself and his loyalty to life and his craft. The story reminds us that true success lies in relentless effort and standing firm in adversity, not in final results or external recognition. 2. Human struggle with nature. Santiago's battle with the great fish and the sharks symbolizes humanity's confrontation with the immense power of nature. Every move, decision, and pull of the rope reflects skill, patience, and respect for the world's laws. It shows that humans are small before nature, but knowledge, patience, skill, and respect can lead to success. Santiago never sees the fish as an enemy. He respects it, creating a fair and humane struggle. 3. Solitude and human connection. Santiago has long been alone, yet in this solitude, his relationship with Marlin and his emotional bond with the fish and the sea give life meaning. Even in isolation, loyalty, love, and human connection can inspire hope and motivation. Marlin's presence shows that the younger generation's link to the wisdom and experience of the elder creates a deep human bond that overcomes loneliness. 4. Failure and relative success. Santiago's return with the fish skeleton symbolizes the difference between effort and final outcome. Though most of the catch is lost, his effort, courage, and human dignity remain. The story conveys that true success lies in the journey and human endeavor, not the visible result. Even when the apparent outcome is failure, the value of effort and adherence to ethical and human principles is immeasurable. 5. Respect for nature and life. Santiago respects the